Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Alright guys, so here we go again. The race hustlers are coming out in full force. I don't know about you guys, but I'm so sick of the victimology. Every single frickin' time. I'm sure you guys are aware it's pretty much impossible to avoid the conversation. It's everywhere, all over the TV, social media. We saw the first couple rounds of the NFL draft, and Deion Sanders' son, Shedeur Sanders, is sliding further and further down the draft board. And apparently, according to all the race hustlers online, it's more proof that America is racist and that the NFL is one big racist plantation where black quarterbacks get shunned purely because of the color of their skin. Can I please have a break from this race grifting nonsense? It's honestly insane how predictable this is. Every time a black athlete doesn't get the perfect outcome that they were looking for, it's immediately racism, white supremacy, systemic oppression, the usual broken record nonsense. I am so tired of it. And so I just want to take a moment to inject some reality into this conversation because apparently nobody in the mainstream sports media, or at least very few people, have the frickin' guts to say it. Let's talk about the latest race grift. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so Shedeur Sanders falls further down the draft board. He might possibly go undrafted, I don't know. Probably not, but it's possible. And just turn on the TV or pop up on social media and it's everywhere.
When I see someone like Shedeur Sanders, you know, because he talk a certain way and because he wears gold chains and his pops is Deion and he don't want to submit to y'all white he's going to slip in the draft. And you're telling me it's based on the evaluation. Like you didn't watch the games and watch him play.
So if it's not football, what is it? Are there racist undertones? You be the judge. Racism is so hard to sort of grasp and prove, but it just stinks. It smells of racist undertones, of too many white people in charge in this league.
You're witnessing, once again, is the machinery of a system that has never quite known what to do with a free black man, much less in a free black family. The NFL, with all its pageantry and power, finds itself uncomfortable, even threatened, when the likes of the Sanders family walk into a room, not asking for a seat at the table, but daring to bring their own. And so the machine does what it has always done. It seeks to diminish, to distort, to remind them and us that there is still a place for black folk. It is not at the head of the table. But in tragedy, you see, it's not in their refusal to bow, but it's in the nation's fear of black excellence unchained.
We all know that it's not just about him being Deion Sanders' son. It's about the bravado he carries. It's about the fact that he looks a certain way. It is about the fact that the color of his skin sometimes at that position can be questioned. And I believe Shedeur Sanders is going to have to deal with that until he gets on the field.
The reason Shedeur Sanders isn't getting drafted is because of the color of his skin. Because he's not conforming to the white man. He's being put in his place for acting out of line. What the hell am I even listening to? I mean, first off, let's start with the basics. Based on all the reports that I've been reading, it seems as though Shedeur Sanders refused to participate in almost all the pre-draft events. Just flat out refused. Didn't go to the combine, didn't want to do private team drills. No, he acted like he was above it all, wearing these massive gold and diamond chains, very much like his father, talking a big game, as if he's got too much star power, he's too good to have to even prove himself. Yeah, obviously that's gonna rub some GMs the wrong way. I don't care what your last name is, or how much social media hype you have, you're entering a billion-dollar business. And unless your talent is truly unquestionable, you just can't act like that. And you know what? Speaking of his dad, Deion Sanders was kind of the exact same way. Here's a photo of Deion Sanders when he got drafted. He had that same kind of attitude, but the only difference was he was very clearly a generational talent. His son Shedeur, I'm not so sure about that. And that obviously creates a very glaring attitude issue. You know, the word around the league is that Shedeur came across terribly in his team interviews. He came off arrogant, uncoachable, and so it seems as though a lot of these teams just don't want to deal with the whole diva aspect. And it also feels like a package deal. If you're drafting Shedeur Sanders, it feels like you're also drafting his dad. And so it's a 2-for-1 special, 2 divas for the price of 1. I think that's what teams are rightfully asking themselves. Do we really want to deal with this circus when there's other prospects that we could pull in with way less baggage and a whole lot more humility? It's really transactional, it's risk management. Do the pros outweigh the cons? The cons are glaring and obvious. Attitude problem, extremely cocky, possibly uncoachable, views himself above all else, plus the whole father situation. Well, if you're bringing all of that baggage, you need to be a clear generational talent. like the greatest thing since sliced bread. But when it comes to Shedeur, I'm not sure the front office is seeing that. No, I think the general consensus here is that the kid's overhyped. Is he a talented quarterback? Absolutely. Does he have skills that will likely translate to the NFL? Probably, although it remains to be seen. But he isn't a once-in-a-generation, can't-be-missed prospect like the media is trying to make it seem. When you cut through all the noise and all the hype and you look purely at the scouting grades, he's a mid to late first-round talent. Maybe you could argue a second-round talent. And I think that's the reality that NFL GMs are seeing. A decent quarterback prospect with some major, glaring, frankly, blinding red flags. That's not racism. That's a common sense analysis. But all over social media. Oh, he's getting shafted because of the color of his skin. It's so incredibly dumb. I mean, this idea that the NFL is racist. 53% of the league is black. And the number one overall pick this year was Cam Ward, who is a black quarterback. So please explain this to me as if I'm 5. If the NFL is this big racist plantation that won't give black quarterbacks a fair shot, except the first player picked off the board was a black quarterback, it's the dumbest argument imaginable. And it falls apart the second you apply the tiniest bit of logic. The problem is not the kid's color of skin, it's everything else. But as per usual, the race grifters want to make it all about race. Oh, it's not that he showed some bad characteristics, it's that he didn't want to code switch for the white man.
Why didn't Shedeur get drafted in the first round? Number one, he didn't code switch. What do I mean he didn't code switch? Shedeur Sanders did not change his identity or how he comes off for the sake of the decision maker. The problem is he didn't make himself more palatable to decision makers. He just didn't do it. And in job interviews, whether it's the National Football League or any job interview, oftentimes it behooves you to make yourself more palatable to decision makers. Shedeur Sanders did not do that. A dude named Rock Carmichael. He played defensive back for the Eagles. Rock Carmichael was told, you need to cut your hair while being in the NFL. And you could ask Rock, a former teammate of mine, a friend of mine, they told him he needed to cut his hair because a picture of him on the far right was how he showed up to the Philadelphia Eagles. But the picture of him on the left was his team photo before he left the Philadelphia Eagles. It wasn't Rock's choice or Rock's doing. Another friend of mine, Earl Thomas, he came into the National Football League with dreads. They told Earl, hey, you would be more marketable if you shaved your dreads. These are just true stories in the National Football League, y'all. That's just all I'm trying to tell y'all. When I suggest Shedeur didn't code switch, Shedeur did not make himself more palatable to the decision makers in the NFL. Crazy.
I mean, what does code switching even mean in this context? Acting mature? Acting like a professional? Showing some class and humility when you're trying to convince a team to hand you a multi-million-dollar contract? Come on. You're not selling out to the white man by showing respect. You're simply being an adult. But of course, according to the regressive left and the racial grift woke mob, any expectation of professionalism is racist. Absolute freaking clown world behavior. What we're seeing is a judgment call being made by these teams. It's called being judged by your behavior, your performance, and your attitude, not by your skin color. It's literally the exact opposite of the point that they're making. And you know what? I think that's absolutely fair. In fact, I think it's falling right in line with the vision of Martin Luther King Jr. to be judged based on your content of character rather than the color of your skin. That's real equality. I mean, that's what everybody claims that they want, right? But the moment it gets real, the moment there's some actual standards being applied fairly to every candidate, well, all of a sudden it's a problem and the grifters bring up this same tired victim narrative. I'm sick of it. It's regressive, it's pathetic, and frankly, I think it's insulting to black athletes, and that's my true opinion. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.